Hi, folks, and sorry about the technical difficulties. Welcome to our Let's Talk Career series. For those of you just tuning in for the first time, a little bit of info on our series. So we do these weekly chats with folks in the community to learn about their job, how they got to their job, and just kind of the journey to get where they are. Today I have my guest Fran O'Donnell. Fran's gonna speak to us about their job out in the community. And thank you, Fran, for joining me today. I seem to be struggling with my words, must be because it's Friday.
No, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
No problem. How are you doing today?
I am all right. It's been a long week. Really looking forward to maybe a nap, sitting out in the sun would be nice.
I heard it's supposed to be very nice this weekend, so it'll be a change for the weekends that we've been having with the cooler weather. So
yeah, for sure.
Hopefully we can all get some fresh air and rejuvenate for our next work week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start off by just asking you about what your job is, Fran, what your job and your job title is.
Sure. At the moment, I have two jobs. So I work as a communications assistant for the Learning Disabilities Association of Halton Hamilton. Always have to take a breath before because it's a bit of a mouthful. And then I'm also a copywriter for Breathe Easy Meditation.
Okay.
And so those two things kind of go together because my boss for one is also my boss for the other. And so, yeah, between those two things, those are the jobs that I have.
Okay, so how did you get into this field of work? Did you go through school for this? Is this part of what you studied for and then you ended up getting into the job, or?
A little bit, yes and no. The way that I got this specific job was through the Path Employment and Center 3 360 for Youth program, which, again, I cannot recommend it enough. It's one of the best things that I've ever done. All of the training that I had for that really helped me for this, for like promotions and graphics and things like that were really helpful. I went to school for English and Cultural Studies, so a lot of writing. And that's very much like the skill set that I bring to both of my jobs. And so a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B between like going to school for these things, but then actually getting the position through Path.
So you did the program through Path, and then that was part of your placement, and then they kept you on after the placement?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So were you doing both jobs at the time, or did one grow into the second job?
Yeah, just Breathe Easy at the time, and then I helped out with some grant applications for LDAHH. And then I sort of went from there because they needed someone to help out with communications. And then it's sort of grown and changed, and I'm doing so many different things now. But started with Breathe Easy, and then went to LDAHH. And I've been there, over half a year now, and it's great. It's just so great.
That's awesome. So can you tell us more about the two companies that you're working for, just for our guests, so that they understand what the two different entities that kind of tangle together, but what they both are about?
For sure. Breathe Easy Mindfulness Meditation is meditation and mindfulness, as the name suggests, for like kids and families. So it's very, my boss used to teach it in like the Hamilton-Burlington area for like 6 years. And then because of the pandemic, she had to move it all online. And so she needed someone who could write the scripts and things and manage the social media. And so that's what I've been doing. And it's different like mindfulness practices that you can use as a family. And like, especially right now, it's been really helpful for me managing my anxiety and coping during this very difficult time. And so, yeah, it's just something that you can do as a family together to make sure that everyone's building resilience and coping skills. So that's the first piece. And then the second piece, LDAHH is a really great organization. We run programming and advocacy services for students and youth and anyone who has a learning disability. And so we have literacy programming, math programming, social skills programming, like any different thing that could impact someone with a learning disability is something that we want to help with. And so we're expanding recently into the Hamilton area. They've been in Burlington for a very long time, like in the Halton area. But I'm very excited that they're in Hamilton now because that's where I am. Makes things a little bit easier for me. But yeah, they do so much great work. They have a conference, and I've been able to learn so many new skills because, especially with a smaller organization, as I'm sure you know, there's just so many things that need to be done and so few people to do them.
That's right.
And so you get to try out so many different things and learn and grow, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it is an opportunity when you work in a smaller company that does have all these different facets to branch out and gain some great experience going forward. So it sounds exciting. So what would you say is your favorite part of your jobs?
I really lately I've been helping out with the programming for LDAHH, and that's probably my favorite part. I love working with kids. I love being able to see the difference for when I start working with a student to when I finish working with a student, like I volunteer as well. And it's just, it's so rewarding to see like firsthand. Like, it's one thing to write a grant application about the program and to say, oh, this is why it's important. Here are the statistics. This is why it matters. And it's just something entirely different to see, like, physically the impact that it has, and to like hear feedback from the parents and from the students, and just to see like encouraging a love of learning is something that's very important. Oh, I'm gonna cry. It's something that really matters a lot to me. And so it's great that I'm able to do that and get paid to do that.
Yeah. I know, it's wonderful, if we can get paid to do something that we love.
For sure, yeah.
It's a bonus,
always nice.
Right? That's awesome. And so what would you say is your strongest, I guess, attribute that makes you good for this job the jobs that you're in?
Yeah, I want to say my writing because that's something that I pride myself on and is something I've worked very hard at. But I really just think my enthusiasm is very helpful because I love to try new things and like help out with different things, and like anything that I am able to try out, I will try out at least once, just to see how it goes. And so, it's being very adaptable is very helpful in the nonprofit field, especially.
Oh, yes.
And so that's certainly something that I'm working on as well, but I think that's something that's very helpful.
So how has COVID affected the work that you're doing? Has it just basically everything's done virtually now? Is it transitioned to?
Yeah, all of the programming especially is online. I could work online like from home regardless because everything I do is virtual. But yeah, all of the programming for students has had to move online, which is hugely, like, as with school being online, has hugely impacted, like, especially learning loss for students. Because it's so hard, especially for students with learning disabilities, to switch back and forth between virtual and in person, and virtual learning is already really hard for them. And so it's been very difficult for the folks that we work with.
Is it usually, do you usually work like just with the youth, or are family members and guardians involved in that as well? Like, is it just one-on-one with the youth that you?
Increasingly, especially this year, we've started creating programs for families as well.
Okay.
So we now have programs to complement the other programming, like to reinforce the skills that they're learning at home.
Okay.
And we do also have advocacy services, so parents and families can call and we have like education specialists who can help direct them through the school system and help them with their like education needs and things like that. So it's kind of making sure that students and youth and with a learning disability are supported kind of at every level of the system, which is easier when it's in person.
Yes.
But it's just the way it is right now, and we're making the best of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I find with advocacy and supports for youth, once they're finished school, there's not a lot available to them. So building these, helping them build resiliency and helping them through the process while they're still in school is better for them, at least, that when they're finished, they're kind of like left, okay, now what do I do? Like there are some organizations out there that are trying to build on it and help the youth, but a lot of them have kind of dispersed and disappeared. So there is a lot of need for it. So this is great to know that there's, especially that they're coming from Burlington, Halton area, and they're coming into Hamilton, because we do have a lot of needs in Hamilton, and that's awesome to hear that. So any advice, tips, strategies for someone thinking of getting into this type of work that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, the way that I've always looked at it is I never expect like something to be like a career, like the way that it used to be, like you would get your job and then you'd work there until you retired. And so there is a certain amount of flexibility and being like adaptable to not only the way that your job changes, but the way the sector changes. For nonprofit work in particular, I would say that one of the best ways to get involved is to start like either volunteering or like being involved in some other role in the organization. Just because that way you have not only an idea of what they're looking for, but an idea of like when they might be looking for people to hire. And the other thing is, because I've worked at a lot of nonprofits applying for grants, around the summer especially, there's a lot of positions for like, I don't know, Canada Summer Jobs or other grants for like hiring summer students or like summer youth. That's a great time to look for work in the nonprofit field, because then you get the experience. And also if you are very good and helpful at the job, then they will likely try and keep you on. I mean, for anyone considering a change, I have always wanted, like for many, many years, wanted to work in the nonprofit field. I wanted to work in education. I'm really glad it's worked out this way. But it's not necessarily either the easiest field to get into or like the most well-paying, just by virtue of the way that it works. But I do think it's immensely rewarding. Like this is some of the most rewarding work I've ever done. And so if someone was looking into getting into the field, I would recommend also, and these are things that I learned from Path that I'm just saying again, but like reaching out to folks who are already in the field, who are maybe like executive directors or something, like, or in a similar career to what you're looking for informational interviews. And I think that's something that Path does, like advisors on how to do that, I think. But yeah, so that's a great way to do it. Just a little plug for Path, because I just think you guys are great, and I love all the services that you have. I think that covers everything. I can't remember.
That's okay. That's great. That's great. And for the LDAHH, I think I got it right. Did I?
Yep.
Okay. Are they? So you said you volunteer for them, right?
Yes.
Do they take volunteers? Like, are they accepting volunteers, and how would that look? Like, if somebody was thinking about getting into this?
Not right now, because we just launched a bunch of programs with volunteers, but for the summer and then especially in the fall, especially for our Reading Rocks and homework help programs, because we need a lot of volunteers for those. And they're both, I've done both of them. They're relatively like beginner friendly, so long as you are invested and engaged with helping your student learn, you can definitely learn the skills that you need. Reading rocks. You work one-on-one with a student twice a week for 1 hour for 8 weeks. And you, sorry, I'm not looking at it, I'm just thinking. You work on phonics, on sight words, on fluency passages, and then on activities just to encourage a love of reading. Like you might read a book, you might do more fluency, you might do things like that. Just being engaged with your student and encouraging them to enjoy reading and to feel confident in their reading and to set goals for like their own learning. And that way, just because it's encouraging them to like recognize their own learning needs, the way they learn best, and then being able to take that into the classroom is something that I think is really valuable. And then we also have homework help, which students with learning disabilities often have difficulty working on homework and like getting it done at a good pace. And that means that they're often doing it long into the night. And it can be really frustrating, and it can make them feel like they don't know what they're doing, but they really do. And so homework help just pairs a tutor and a student, again, 2 hours a week for 8 weeks. And they just work on homework, and it's pretty chill. And it's nice. You just hang out and you become like a trusted adult in the student's life, and just show that you believe in them and you know that they can get this done, and just help them understand their own learning and themselves. And yeah, they're both really cool programs, and we always need volunteers. If anyone is interested, we would love for you to volunteer.
I'll make sure I share it on the post, because we do have a lot of even clients that are job seeker clients, but they're also looking for volunteer in these type of organizations. Yeah, for sure. So I'll share that because it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for our folks. Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to share? I kind of covered my questions, but if there's anything else you want to share.
I was trying to think if there was anything else. I don't know. I'm just very I could talk a bit about kind of why I wanted to work in the nonprofit field. Maybe.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I used to go to Western. And while I was there one summer, I worked for Growing Chefs Ontario, which is it was one of my favorite jobs I've ever had. If anyone's ever in London, I would highly recommend either volunteering for them. They run like cooking programs and things like that, and they do food education, like programming for kids to teach them how to cook and like teach them how to cook for themselves, and like healthy eating and things like that. And again, because it was such a small organization, they're a lot bigger now, but they were small when I was working with them. And I got to help with grant applications. I put together I handmade thank you letters for all the volunteers. And it's just, I really do think there's something amazing about being able to do something different every day within the same organization, and to get to learn so many different skills. And people who work in nonprofits are just so kind, so kind and so helpful and so willing to like help you by nature of the work. That is just something that's so rewarding to do. And again, like the pay rates are not as high as in other industries, but I do think that it's worth it to be able to have an experience like that. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. I think that's it.
Okay, well, I'll make sure I get the information from you for both of the organizations, and I'll share it on the post, and anybody who's interested can reach out. And I know the two organizations through you being part of Path's youth program in that, and I follow all the social media posts in that, and the great opportunities. Great when, you know, such organizations that are nonprofit that are like you know, going above and beyond to help our folks to, you know, grow and do better and be more successful. And yeah, so it's I'll share that as well. And I'm sorry, I'm It's Friday. I have Friday brain.
Yeah, no worries. That's where I'm at as well. I'm sure there were other things I wanted to say. I'm just so scrambled.
But it was lovely talking to you, Fran. I appreciate you coming on and sharing, and I'm so happy that everything turned out for you through the program, and that they've kept you on, and I know they have a great opportunity by having someone like you on their team. So
thank you, and thank you for having me. This was lovely.
Problem. No problem. You take care and have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, you as well. Enjoy the sun.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, bye.